brief dip into spring. Apparently did not fool any of the winter illnesses that continue to spread.
No, from common colds to COVID and flu, local doctors say the typical viruses for this time of year are still going strong. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a closer look at exactly what's going around and how long it might last.
Well, you know, Karen and Devin, I saw a lot of patients this weekend suffering from respiratory illnesses in the ER, and my colleagues at other hospitals, they're reporting the exact same thing. Unfortunately, these viruses tend to stick around well into spring, so now is not the time to let your guard down. Here's what's going around where you live.
In Wayne County, Dr. Kelly Lavasser at Children's Hospital is seeing a bump in flu cases, with about 30% of the young patients they're testing coming back positive. Dr. Joseph Shramsky at Corewell Health Beaumont and Dearborn continues to see a lot of flu, COVID, and RSV in all ages, plus a few cases of pink eye. Ascension St. John and Henry Ford Plymouth also report a lot of strep throat. Moving to Oakland County, Dr. Stephen McGraw at Ascension Providence is seeing patients with COVID and flu, but says both seem to be slowing slightly this week. At Clarkston Medical Group, Dr. Tim O'Neill is also treating those illnesses plus some cases of RSV. Looking at Washtenaw County, the health department says flu cases remain at high levels. Dr. Brad Uren at Michigan Medicine reports some cases of flu and COVID along with other upper respiratory infections. Finally, in Macomb County, Dr. Ali Saad in the ER at McLaren Macomb is seeing upper respiratory viruses including flu, RSV, and some COVID. He reports stomach viruses are also rebounding, causing nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The weather conditions are also causing breathing problems in asthma sufferers.
Now, nationally, many states are actually seeing a decrease in flu, particularly states where the flu got off to an earlier start. Here in Michigan, we saw a brief dip in January, but the flu actually has been trending back up over the last few weeks, so we can expect to be dealing with it actually for probably a couple weeks more to come.
So before you go, we saw COVID on most of those lists. So I want to ask you about this report that the CDC is considering changing its guidance to no longer sort of isolating yourself for 5 days if you've got COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So this is actually something that they're still waiting to decide on completely, but that change would actually bring the guidance in line with other respiratory viruses like the flu. Bottom line, though, is it's just important that we each do what we can to reduce the spread of contagious illnesses, whether that means staying home, maybe wearing a mask, or just monitoring your symptoms for a specific number of days or not. Everyone just needs to be more courteous and thoughtful.
In fact, why don't you come on Flashpoint Sunday morning and we will talk more about this very topic. How about that?
A little plug for Flashpoint.
I'll see you then. All right, thanks, Doc.